Asha man sentenced to 36 years in prison over mother-sister murder. Shira seafront to be transformed with a 13-story mega development, and Malta's groundwater has the highest levels of ammonia in the EU. All this and more on another episode of Lovin Daily. Good evening, Malta and Gozo. Welcome to another episode of Lovin Daily. I am Matt, joined by Johnathan. Johnathan, do you want to kick things off?
Yes, we've got a big story, a big development on a story that we've been covering for about 3-4 years now, coming from the courts today. So Joseph Bonici, the man charged with murdering both his mother and his sister in their Asha home about 3-4 years ago, has been sentenced to 36 years in jail. So 36 years in jail is not a very common court punishment in Malta, so it just goes to show just how serious this crime is. So if you remember back in 2018, 2019, the killings of Maria Lourdes Bonici and Angela Bonici hit the news headlines. This was really, really big news because if you remember, there were some gruesome details revolving around the double homicide, including the man himself, Joseph Bonici, apparently after murdering the bodies, moving the bodies to a nearby empty field and trying to discard of the bodies nearby. And yes, once again, that was his own sister and his mother. So a lot of things have come out in the court case. Among them, the reason he is believed to have killed his own mother and sister, he said he killed them out of revenge for some of the contents in his ex-girlfriend's suicide note. So obviously a lot of things were happening in here. Aside from being found guilty for the murders, he was also found guilty of having used the weapon, shooting a firearm in an inhabited area, hiding both corpses, and being in possession of a firearm without a license. He admitted that he had also manufactured a firearm in his own garage. It is good to kind of see an ending to this story, this gruesome double murder from Asha. I still remember the day it happened when we report on it. It was shocking news. So I'm happy to see that the courts have actually kind of closed a chapter on this story.
Yes, as John said, this was one of the most widely followed stories in Malta over the last few years, with court hearings dating back from 2019. Inspectors Keith Arno, John Spiteri and Roderick Attard prosecuted, while lawyers Franco De Bona and Marion Camille appeared for defence counsel. Moving on to our second story, the Shira seafront is set to be transformed to a 13-story mega development. For those of you who know, the quaint seaside locality of Shira is set to get a drastic change with this development awaiting PA decision. Located along Dawrat al-Shat and Lovin, the proposed seaside development, which includes a 3-level basement, 153 apartments, 206 garages, 14 Class 4B shops, 9 penthouses, among many others, will also overlook with Glavan. The application, which also outlines the demolishing of the current site, was filed by Jason Mifsud on behalf of Elegant Homes and will take up an area of around 5,000 square meters. During the application's representation period, which is now closed, over 600 residents objected to the project.
You know, if anyone has been to Shira recently, it's a very quiet area, it's a very quaint area. I think quaint is the perfect word to describe it. So I think this mega development is definitely going to change kind of the vibe in the town. As Matt said, 600 residents have already objected to it. If you feel strongly about this, you can also go online, share your voice, share your opinion, and have your voice heard and object to this development. On the topic of the environment, and moving on to the next story, a recently published Eurostat study has found that Malta has the highest level of ammonia in our groundwater, which is not something we should be very proud of. So as to why we have so much ammonia in the groundwater, I assume over the next coming weeks, there's going to be some studies to figure it out. But high levels of ammonia typically come from excessive inputs of nitrogen from agricultural sources, such as mineral fertilizer and livestock manure. So it'll be very interesting to see if maybe Malta's farming sector has actually led to this, and if that's the case, what can be done about it? Why is this dangerous? You don't want to have high levels of ammonia in the groundwater. This can be not healthy for humans as well as animals.
Yes, Malta might have the highest levels of ammonia in the EU. We're also quite high up in the list for levels of nitrates, with Cyprus having the highest levels and Malta coming in second place. But, what do you make of these statistics? Let us know in the comment section. Moving on to a interesting story, I'd say. An urban explorer's adventure through Malta's abandoned St. Philip's Hospital is making the rounds after yielding a few uncomfortable surprises, including discarded human organs and intact medical patient files, which I have issue with, but whatever. Urban explorer and YouTuber Bob Thyssen is no stranger to adventure broadcasting his many interesting exploration hotspots around the globe to his over 401,000 followers on YouTube, from abandoned Arctic settlements to dilapidated NATO command centers across Europe. He described the abandoned St. Philip's Hospital as having a, quote, really creepy vibe, published his journey on YouTube, and also showed some rather grim footage, including the aforementioned organs, and he also came across lots of patient files which showed surgical and medical admission notes. Now, I understand the interesting nature behind this. However, I particularly take issue with showing patient files. However, then the argument can also be made as to why are these patient files just out in an abandoned hospital?
This is not the first time we've had images and photos sent to us from St. Philip's, seemingly showing organs, as Matt said, very private patient files. So I don't know what the authorities are waiting for to get down to St. Philip's and figure out what's going on there, clean it out. I mean, I can't imagine it. You're a foreigner, you come to Malta, you want to explore some caves and whatnot. You hear about this hospital, you find human organs in there. That's really, really shocking. If you want to see the video, it is on YouTube, and I think we also have some clips on it on our Instagram, so check it out there. And moving on to the final story of today, if you weren't aware yet, yes, Malta is indeed the European Union's most obese country. So first of all, we had the recent WHO study that basically said the Maltese youths are among the most obese in the EU and the world. Now we have a new study from Eurostat confirming that when compared to other European countries, Malta is indeed the most obese country. Malta's obesity rates stand at 28.7%. Whereas the lowest, is in Romania and Italy. They're at 10% and 11%. So quite a sizable jump, nearly 3 times the rates of obesity there. So if you haven't really noticed, Love Malta has been doing a bit of a push on obesity. We're actually working on quite a cool little project that we'll be showing to you very, very soon with host Steve Miller. I'm sure you've seen some kind of hints of it on our socials already. But listen, this new Eurostat study is just the latest confirmation that Malta really needs to do something about its eating habits.
Yes, I mean, this is obviously a very nuanced discussion that needs to be had, whether it's dietary choices, the lifestyle that we need, or the environment we have around us in Malta, making it viable for us to make those lifestyle choices. But please, we'd love to hear from you and share those thoughts in the comment section under the video.
Now, before we cut to a video on today's interview, I do want to remind you that this is the last week that you'll be able to enjoy Lovin Daily in its current format. We're closing a chapter, we're about to open a new one. Very, very exciting, so definitely stay tuned to our socials for that. This Friday will be the final episode of Lovin Daily in this format, so let us know in the comments below what your favorite moments were, what topics you'd like us to talk about in these next coming episodes, and what you'd like to see in the next form. Now, we're going to cut to a quick video. We've got a very, very exciting documentary coming out this evening, all about maypole and the story of ftira in Malta. If you're not aware, ftira is one of the most beautiful delicacies that we have on the island. Find out a lot more at 7:30 tonight.
Yes.
7:30 tonight. We'll be launching that, so check that out. And before that, we're going to cut to a trailer. And when we're back, we're going to have today's scheduled interview. Stay tuned.
Kienu jgħidula xawwata.
Passjoni tal-furnar tkun hemm. Il-forn jistrieħ fuq il-ftira. Issa tridu biċċa ftira.
Daily, today we've got a special guest in the building, Louisa from Changemakers. If you're not aware of what Changemakers is, we're here to explain to you what it is, but it's a very exciting new show that's set to give up around 100,000 euros in grant money to the best social impact idea on the island. Louisa, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
So let's start off from the top. For anyone that's watching that isn't really aware of what Changemakers is, what is it?
In simple terms, this is the first social impact TV show that we're doing in Malta. What we wish to achieve is having opportunities for changemakers. So it's your chance to get exposure, to get funding, to get mentoring, and get your project, your initiative, your idea to be able to get it forward and make it happen.
No, this is really, really super exciting. And I think a lot of people in Malta have ideas that can probably kind of fit into this. So do you have an example, or what kind of ideas are you looking for this year?
Firstly, we're just looking for change makers. So we're looking for voluntary organizations, social enterprises, anyone that has an idea, an initiative that could have a positive change in Malta. When we look at, in the past, we used to have the Malta Social Impact Awards, which we've funded over 400,000 to
Wow. Amazing.
a number of different social initiatives. And those are a few ideas of what we're looking for. So they've all been very inspirational. We want people that have inspiring initiatives that could have a positive impact. We're looking at projects that we had one, which was FAY, which was an artificial intelligent app, which was an educational app, which is now at the moment going into schools and being tested.
Incredible.
They're focusing on maths. They have over 200 learning outcomes. And the idea is to change the way education is done within schools so that there's a fair understanding of different levels for students. We had other projects that have done well with the Social Impact Awards. Was also Friendship Cards, which was a way of creating a space for children through games and through these cards to be able to communicate what they're going through, to be able to get through conflict resolution and emotional literacy, and find ways of being able to express themselves, especially when they call.
No,
Those are just some ideas.
This is amazing, and I think this is something that Malta, it's really important that Malta kind of has this. And you guys aren't playing around. 100,000 euros in the grant funding, right?
Yes, so the idea is that we want to award a social initiative up to 100,000 euros. There'll be more than that, I'm sure, when it comes to, we want to get the public to be part of the change too. So we'll be reaching out for the public to also support these initiatives and also find ways to fund them if they wish to.
Wow.
And the whole idea about this is bringing the public, the business sector, everyone to create this change.
So where did this idea come from? Because, you know, really every week, every day, you're going to hear about business plans, new business ventures, but having a social impact included in that, you know, that's taking it to the next level, taking it a step further. So why did you want to have a scheme like this in Malta?
Well, we started out as Inspiration Foundation. The foundation behind this project, Changemakers, is that we always believed that we wanted to create opportunities for these changemakers, whether through non-financial support or financial support, and bring the business community closer so that they could find ways to see these big ideas, these needed ideas, because we do need positive impact in Malta. And it was a way of connecting the two and creating these opportunities. And now we've taken it to the next level. We're going on TV so we can ensure that there's more exposure. We can share and explain what are the social issues in Malta, environmental issues, create a space as well to be talking about them and being inspired. And that's what it's all about. It's about creating that exposure and that support for people that have great ideas, are inspired or motivated to create a change in Malta.
Exactly. So this is going to be a TV show, right? And applications are open right now, and the TV show will be in October, will be aired in October.
So the applications are open, so we can tell everyone to go on the website. It's very simple at the moment. We just want your expression of interest. So just let us know your name, your organization, and the change you wish to make. Then we will be able to follow up, and we would need a proposal later on. But at the moment, we want to understand people who are out there, who wish to make a change.
So what's the website? Where can people find you guys?
So it's changemakers.today, very simple, and you'll find the apply button around there, so just fill it up. And that will be the easiest way to get through. You can obviously follow us on Facebook as well, and there's all the information there.
No, super excited. Once again, prosit and well done for even
Thank you.
setting this up. You know, it really takes a lot of energy and courage to kind of go out of your way to help social impact happen in the community. So really well done on that. Guys, if you have an idea that could be perfect for this, changemakers.today. Check them out. Also check them out on their social media. You know, keep up to date. And if you have an idea, once again, I do urge you, apply and you could be in to get 100,000 euros in funding. Thanks again for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much. Hope you all apply.
Apply, guys, if you have the idea. I think that brings us to the end of today's episode. From myself and the entire Lovin Malta team, have an evening full of lovin'.